All right. Hello, everybody. Give me a couple of minutes to get things in order, but otherwise, we're here. We're gonna be talking about a couple things. Give me a sec. Let's see. Random Yapping stream is live. I just need to make some copies and paste it here. Yes. Live talking about random things for a second is what I'm naming the thing here. Good. Okay. That link is sent. I'm going to send a link in Discord as well. And that'll do it. Okay. Yep. That's it. Hello, everybody. I'm just going to say that I wasn't planning on doing a big stream today, and I probably won't be here more than an hour or two, you know. Just a brief little, teeny tiny little stream. I was thinking about actually, because I got my work done, you know, like about an hour and a half ago, and I was thinking, oh boy, I'm going to play Pokemon Crystal Clear or something, but nah, that's going to wait. So what ended up happening today, let me pull open the what I call it, the news. I took a screenshot of it. I think we can just use the screenshot and that's fine. So, Nintendo took down the, what do you call it? The Yuzu Nintendo Switch emulator. Now, there are other Nintendo Switch emulators, so this doesn't matter a whole lot, right? But they took them to court, and rather than choosing to fight Nintendo's lawyers forever, the company is basically just folding. So what they're going to do is they're going to basically just shutter their LLC and like transfer their assets to Nintendo, just, you know, like we're done kind of deal. It's the move on with our lives strategy, you see. That's what they're doing. So basically they had made quite a bit of money off of this emulator because they had paywalled. Yeah, I know this is a little fun, but they paywalled multiplayer for their emulator. If that sounds wrong, that's because, you know, it is. So, yeah, they paywalled multiplayer for their emulator, and Nintendo was like, excuse me, you guys are, what do you call it, infringing on our intellectual properties, bypassing our security, doing a lot of stuff. So, for those who don't know what Yuzu is a program that allows you to, what do you call it, play emulator, let's let you play Nintendo games without a Nintendo piece of hardware. Like, you can get the software thing. Do you want to be a cat girl? No. A cat boy, obviously. Let's let me go ahead and do this here. Yes. Let me see here. What do we call it? There you go. Here's my cat boy right there. Top quality cat boy content. Now, I think you're a fucking lunatic if you want to be an animal person in real life. So, you know, this is strictly a meme internet thing. If you hadn't figured it out, you dumb. I'm calling you stupid. Now then, what was I saying? Yeah. So, regarding Yuzu, the emulator, basically, you got to play a Switch game without owning a Switch, right? And, the idea behind that is, sorry, I got distracted by someone sent me a message. Oh boy. Anyway, the idea behind emulator is, you know, like you can, as long as you have the game, you can play the game, like any kind of console game on your PC instead. That's how it works. So basically, because Nintendo looked at them and said, because the Nintendo looked at the whole thing and said, look, you guys are taking money for this. You are a competitor. This is a problem. And they sued him, mostly for bypassing their security, which they may not have won the court case. But the fact is that Yuzu was taking money for a variety of things, a lot of which were very questionable. Let me see here. Here we go. I'm pulling up the other thing. Here it is. No. Look. You're saying it's refreshing to know that it's not normal. Oh, no. I'm just a weirdo. Like, I'm a weird person, and I like weird shit. I mean, I still, I go outside, and I talk to people, and, I am, a married man, and otherwise I'm quite happy in my life. But I still get to be a weirdo on the internet, because it's fun. Anyway, as I was saying, what do we got? Oh, yeah. So, what do you call it? Like, basically, they were working, like, they had an official Android app. They were collecting telemetry data from people's, like, from people's programs, basically able to, like, they were collecting data on people. That was a big thing there. Was Yuzu was basically gathering data on people, and people are like, everyone's legitimately concerned about that, because were they selling that telemetry data? That's a big gold mine for Facebook, by the way. That's where, like, Facebook makes a huge chunk of money. Is it like sells people's telemetry data, Then, of course, the crazy thing is, they basically, a competitor to Switch Online, right? Like, the idea is that you had to subscribe to their Patreon in order to be able to play online. And that's considered a big no-no, right? So, like, the big thing to understand, though, is that this is an open source project. Like, they did a lot of weird and questionable shit, but you can still make your own version of Yuzu if you wanted to. Like, that's basics. So, the idea behind it is that, like, Yuzu isn't going away so much as the Yuzu LLC, the corporation, is being shuttered, and its assets are going to Nintendo. The actual emulator itself is on the internet. You can download it, not from their official website, obviously, because their official website's going away. But, like, if you search GitHub for Yuzu, you can find a whole ton of forks of Yuzu. Like, people have taken the source code and forked it. And so, like, people are building their own custom Yuzus right now. It's not like all the effort that they went to has gone to waste or anything. It's just that they were told, no, you can't actually make a living on paywalling parts of Nintendo's service. Like, you can't. You're not allowed to do that, basically. That's what that was the final result of this, is that in order to get out of the lawsuit, they basically just they nuked their company and just gave the assets to Nintendo. That's the 2.4 million right there. That's what happened. So, yeah, it's kind of special. Anyway, hi John Blood, how's it going? Have you been surviving the grind? I know we've been chatting a few times when you've popped into streams, but I haven't heard about how things have been going for you lately. All right, let me hit a button there. I'm gonna go ahead and set something up in the background really quick. YouTube. Take me to YouTube's control panel. Okay. You said they took a bullet so open source fork can run. Yeah, I mean, it's true. But it's not like it's the only emulator either, right? There's a competitor, Ryujinx, and for some things, Ryujinx is better. For other things, Yuzu is better. Depends on which game you're talking about. So, it is super interesting to look at this whole situation and just kind of like, you have to figure that the whole open source community, like, this proves once again that open source is the way to go when it comes to any kind of emulation or like major product, because what ends up happening is people will ultimately, like, companies will come after you if you make it in any way convenient. You said, wait, hold on. Side effects. Cetra will now shut down because Boone, lead developer, has an injunction against them stating they cannot be involved in any other software that does the same stuff as Yuzu. Interesting. See, that's something I didn't know. I'm just looking at this right now. But I mean, Citra. Let's go look into Citra really quick. Give me a sec. I'm looking at it right now. All right. It looks like Citra is also open source. So it looks like Citra will still exist, even though the official project will shut down. So if it will fall into the hands of a new developer, we cannot say. But I can tell you right now that AM2R, another Metroid 2 remake, was shut down by Nintendo. And then it popped up again due to, what do you call it? You know, just like the source code finding its way to other people. You know, that's, like, AM2R is in, like, version 2 now. And, you know, a complete and total overhaul update. It has a multiplayer fork. All kinds of shit. And while the general population who don't interface with it will very often go and say, oh, well, you know, like, it's a shame that Nintendo took that thing down. Everyone who actually interfaces with the project knows that AM2R is still alive and kicking. You know, it's being updated all the time. And it's the same thing with all of these open source projects. Is the big websites will say it has been shut down, but in reality, you know, it will still just kind of exist in forks and other things. And you'll get software that ends up using its core programming with a different logo or something like that. That'll happen. Mainly what needs to happen is any successors to Yuzu need to ditch that fucking paywall bullshit. Because, yeah, that's what probably got Nintendo's ire in the first place. You know what I mean? Anonymous contributors, aka the old devs. Perhaps you behind a copious amount of VPN anyway. You do not want to be caught by like violating a court order. I'm assuming it's a court order. I have not looked at the actual like case files. But Yeah, if it's a legal injunction and not just a contract, because most of these out-of-court settlements are contracts, like agreed upon mutually, right? But if it's a court-ordered injunction, then there's real shit to pay for violating that, as opposed to a breach of contract. Breach of contract is super interesting because contract law doesn't really have any mechanism by it to be punitive outside of what the contract itself states. In other words, if I were to violate a contract with somebody else, and that someone takes me to court for violating that contract, all they can do is really seek to be made whole for the violation of the contract, basically be set back to zero. It's not like breaking the law where you can have punitive damages like tossed on top of that. That doesn't exist for contracts, unless it's written expressly in the contract itself. The point is that it's going to be very interesting. Yeah, if they do decide to, be an anonymous contributor, despite, having an injunction against them, then it's going to, they're going to have to practice OPSEC, be one of those, be one of those deep web denizens, so to speak, and, Tor, VPN, shit like that. Put stuff on a removable storage that can be burned if necessary. It's quite insane. YouTube Vanced, which got shut down, resurrected, reworked, rebranded. See, I've never used that, but I've heard about it back when it got shut down initially, and I was interested in hearing about it some more. I just, didn't hear anything about it otherwise. Let me see here. With that music, it makes it sound like a grand speech. I think it's Way to the World. So, I mean, is the Nintendo emulator worth Weight of the World? I don't know about that, okay? But let's try measure... There we go. So let's go with that one. Fuck it. Okay. Yeah. So, as I was saying, yeah, Nintendo and Yuzu came to an agreement where they shut down the they shut down the LLC. Yuzu itself will exist in open source form. Over the internet regardless. There's no getting, and Citra is going to shut down as well, but that is also open source. So in other words, nothing's going to change other than the contributors to Yuzu and Citra will become will become anonymous or otherwise different people, and they will be forks that are quote-unquote unofficial, right? That's basically it, is just unofficial. But yeah, you popped into a manifesto. Hey, now, I don't know about that. But yes, the average MMORPG user interface, I wouldn't say that. Let me. Okay, you're asking about like Final Fantasy XIV specifically. Let me see here. Hold on. Okay, so if we go over here to HUD layout, you can see how customized it can be with different configurations. It's no big deal there, it's very, very customizable, and I've just set it up to kind of like mostly be on the bottom and a little bit in the corner here, so that my chat window can be right here, covered up by my my webcam / avatar. I was busy working today, did not get my what would you call it? I'm basically not dressed to stream, so to speak. So you get the Catboy avatar instead, which is perfectly normal and totally not degenerate at all. So, but yeah. Let me see here. How the hell did I like stop running or start like? Yeah, I've already forgotten how to do that. Okay, in the balance, thanks. I like this song. Yeah. Yeah. T-shirts are not allowed here. Only button-up shirt and tie. It's a little bit different, but yeah. Yeah. It's on the keypad. Oof. Okay, yeah, it was the /. I think that all of my mouse commands use some form of like thing there. I don't know. It's kind of weird. You broke a Nintendo Switch. Oh, don't do that. No, don't do that. Because if you break a piece of hardware, like the company's like, he already bought it. You know what I mean? He already bought it and he's breaking it. He's probably gonna have to buy a new one now. Like companies are really fucking cynical when it comes to you breaking stuff that they own, like that you bought already. You know, they're just like her. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. He already bought it, loser. That's how corporations that's how corporations see the breaking of stuff, you know. My goodness. Yes. Sell it for cheap? Honestly, yeah. No. That's not even a joke. Nintendo fucking hates it when you sell their stuff used. It's true. Like, Nintendo despises resale because they don't get any money from the new person, like getting the used product. That's why like so many companies give you don't give you discs anymore. They give you just a Steam code on a piece of cardboard. Yeah. If you get really lazy, get GameStop credit. Yeah, exactly. Point is that that's actually the best way to stick it to Nintendo is like sell your stuff to other people for cheap, so that like Nintendo gets $0 off that new person coming into the space. Let me see here. Yep, Nintendo is selling their console at cost, or basically a slight profit. Yeah, it's a slight profit. Basically, if anyone else buys a Nintendo Switch, it's like, oh boy. No. So yeah, Yuzu's not going away. There's no question about that. It's just that the company that makes it is shuttering their doors, and their official download links are going away, which doesn't matter because you go search GitHub and you'll find, like for Yuzu, you will find tons of repositories already. There's no question about it. But yeah, I'm not in a state to quote unquote live stream right now, so no camera. This is my I'm not ready to be on camera outfit. There is it open source already. Yuzu and Cetra, both emulators were open source already, so they nuked their GitHubs, but guarantee you it'll be back. Like it'll be in other places. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You think there's a timeline where Nintendo are nice, but Bethesda take down fan projects? I guarantee you that Bethesda takes down but Bethesda already took down DRL back when the author started working on a game called Jupiter Hell, right? Basically, Bethesda's nice as long as you're only playing in their sandbox. But when you become a competitor, they get angry at you and they try to take down your shit. Like DRL, sorry, it was called DoomRL, right? And he rebranded to DRL and just kept on doing what he was doing, and he just changed out like the sprites to not be Doom sprites anymore. And he told Bethesda to go fuck off. But yeah, it's a case of if you become a legitimate competitor, Bethesda becomes hostile to you, and will try to nuke your like any projects you have that use their IPs, because they don't want to. At least what their lawyers said was, we don't want you to we don't want to look like we are endorsing your product. That's how their lawyers phrased it. Is we don't want it to look like we are endorsing your product. And so, yeah. Okay, DBFig says, just because a company is mod-friendly doesn't mean they are modder-friendly. This is true. Let's see here. Okay. So, yeah, if you step slightly out of line, they're gonna come after you. Correct. Let's see what else we got. Yuzu on the Wayback Machine had 4,000 forks. Nintendo just gave the emulator free advertising. This is true. Absolutely true. Let me see here. Bethesda lacking creative storytelling in regards to the other scrolls. Well, I mean, here's the thing about Bethesda and creative storytelling. So, Bethesda was like, they've been coasting off of the quality of like other the actual writers for the Elder Scrolls. Kirkbrade's one of them, but he's not the only one, right? Like Daggerfall and Morrowind were written by a whole ton of people, none of which are with the company anymore. That's just a reality. Let's see. He said companies need to get better at encrypting software, hiding it server-side rather than sue. I mean, that's what they're going to end up doing once they figure out that it isn't worthwhile, that they can't... Like, the amount of money they lost in Breath of the Wild / Tears of the Kingdom piracy is far more than 2.4 million. No question about it. Wasn't there a rumor of Todd leaving after the Microsoft sale? Everyone's making rumors about Todd Howard. I'll tell you this, though. Todd Howard got a significant chunk of change in that buyout. He owned shares in ZeniMax Media. He doesn't need to work if he doesn't want to. In other words, like, Todd Howard's doing what he's doing because he wants to, and he likes the income, I suppose. But if he wanted to just live his entire life off of the money he got from the ZeniMax buyout, he could probably do that. Like, so what it comes down to is at present, for now, Microsoft is not messing with his sandbox. Microsoft might kind of tell people what to do as far as like different projects go. But like everyone under Todd's umbrella has basically hasn't been messed with too much. Now, like, remember that you got your Todd Howard development studio in Maryland, right? You got a bunch of satellite studios that are technically under Todd Howard, but they don't care. He doesn't really care about them in the same way. He doesn't work with them. So, then, like, further out from that, like, way out there, is the, what do you call it? The Bethesda Softworks publishing branch. Now, you'll notice that they're being dismantled by Microsoft. Redundancies. They're going away. What do I mean by redundancies? Pete Hines PR. He is not needed anymore because of, what do you call it? Because of Xbox PR, right? The community managers who've been like, these have been world-class community managers. You may not agree with it, but like going from like all the way up to right after Fallout 4, like before Fallout 76, in local markets, we're talking like Australia, UK, so on, like they've had great community managers. Like they've been doing their job excellently when it came to like person-to-person communication. Fallout 76 outsourced a fuck ton of people to get the multiplayer shit done, and it shows with some of the responses, aka write an essay and bullshit like that, right? Those are the outsourced people. And finally, a bunch of like, what do you call them? Jeez, I'm trying to remember the other. What was that called? Game testers, right? Like quality assurance people. Like a lot of these people are being dumped from the whole ZeniMax Media group now. People who worked there for a long time are basically packing their bags because you know, Microsoft is cutting redundancies. They've already done this for Blizzard as well. Like Activision Blizzard had like close to 2,000 redundancies. I think it was like 1,950, something like that. So somewhere in that range, redundancies got cut from Activision. You see, you want to see people lose jobs. That's all. That's what mergers are. Acquisitions are just like giant job cuts waiting to happen. Yeah. Activision Blizzard wasn't necessarily quote-unquote bloated so much as it had redundancies with Microsoft. Like, Microsoft already has positions filled that can do those things. And so, why would you need two people when one person can do the job? You know? That's when we're talking about, like, you know, game testers, public relations, and community management. All of that is already handled in-house by the Xbox brand. They don't need extra people. Yes. Anyway, what was I saying? How did Overwatch die? Okay, so, yeah, what's his name? Jeff from the Overwatch team. He was actually holding the whole thing together, and when he got done dealing with their shit, he was just like, I ain't doing this anymore. And so, like, he was the one protecting all the Overwatch people originally, the people in the team, from Activision's bullshit, basically. And as they were basically forcing his hand to release Overwatch 2 and shutter Overwatch 1, you know, against, like, they would have just called, like, if Jeff had stayed in the company, people would have gotten his footage and gotten, like, the promises that he made about the game, and they would have blamed him for it. So rather than take the blame for everything going wrong, he told him to get the hell out. You said the size of the job increased with the merger. Like, no, how to put this? A lot of these positions aren't, like, don't need to be done, like, all the time. For example, let's say that Bethesda releases a game every 4 years. If that's not necessarily true, but let's just say it is for the purpose of this. Well, they don't really have like the kind of testing that gets done internally for the first year or two of that project. So, like, what do the testers do during that first those first 2 years? well, the answer is they shift over and work on someone else's project, right? And in the ZeniMax group, they had sufficient testers to be able to like cross-pollinate between the different projects. And it made sense, but when you get like a mega corporation, we're talking like a $3 trillion company like Microsoft, they have people to spare. Plenty. And they would no doubt want those centralized where they could control them and you know, keep people from leaking shit as easily. Stuff like that, you know? That's when it comes to like game testers and stuff. Remember that quality control is something that Microsoft has been actually shrinking on. This is, I know it's a little silly, but yeah, you said when massive companies eat smaller ones, yeah, it's the smaller people who get kicked. That's what I'm saying. Like, you don't want to kill the goose that lays the golden eggs, so Todd Howard's team hasn't been screwed with. But everyone else within the greater Bethesda Softworks umbrella has been getting screwed with. That's what we're trying to say. However, we'll see now that there's a lot of people who've been let me grab that one. There you go. There's a lot of people who've been pointing out that Microsoft might be dissatisfied with Starfield. There's no proof of it right now. But, like, basically, we're going to find out in the next release, you know, after the DLCs are out and stuff. And when they move into Elder Scrolls 6, just how much control Microsoft wants to assume over Todd's team. And if Todd doesn't like that, doesn't like any kind of meddling, he might choose to leave. Like, that's, again, he's independently wealthy now that that all his ZeniMax Media shares got sold. And he could choose to not work anymore if he wanted to. He could retire comfortably for the rest of his life. So, you said Microsoft is, a little bit of hot water with the Federal Trade Commission. Honestly, it's kind of interesting because, like, they said they weren't going to do certain things, but now that they can justify them after the fact as saying, well, we have information we didn't have before. Things didn't work out how we thought they were going to work out, right? They stated their intent, and they weren't necessarily perjuring themselves by saying our intent at this time is this, and then turning around and doing the exact opposite because circumstances change. They may have to go and explain themselves, but I don't think there's very much. I'm scratching the back of my head, and that, like, the capture software, that's how it treats me, scratching the back of my head. Anyway, let me see here. You said Starfield teamwork with Sweet Baby. Yeah, I have nothing to say on Sweet Baby. I do have something to say on the Steam curator, though. Do not follow any curators that are based around things not to buy, because if you do, then what do you call it? What's going to happen is that curator is going to be viewing a lot of different games, and the Steam algorithm is going to look at the curators you follow and say, okay, well, the curators you follow look at these type of games. You may not like this particular game, but we're going to start recommending you games like it in order to try to get you to what you like. Because you obviously follow people who look at a lot of this stuff, right? So you want these type of games. You just haven't found the game for you yet. That's what the algorithm says. So by following an algorithm based around do not buy, you're actually going to get recommended a whole shit ton of what you don't want to buy because that's how the algorithm works. So be careful about that. Just saying. Are you truly an Elder Scroller? No. No, I'm not an Elder Scroller. I'm an individual with weird fucking tastes. Well beyond your comprehension. All right, let's see here. What else? You said 20 years from now, AI and Unreal/Unity clones will be so advanced gaming studios will just need one person. I don't think so. I do think that there's going to be a what do you call it? A whole ton of not so great lawsuits regarding AI. I do think that. Well, we actually mentioned this earlier, but Yuzu lives because it's open source, but Yuzu's corporation is dead. You playing Rebirth? No, I do not play game series in progress. In other words, when the third one comes out, and then all three get like sold as a pack together on PC, I'll consider it. But the moment I heard that it was going to be a 3-part series, I said, well, if I'm still alive when it's all done, I'll play it. It's that simple. I liked Final Fantasy VII, though. That was a fun game. The original, I mean. You have 2 Steam curators. Nice. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So I'm just saying, yeah. Well, the Total Biscuit one was like following like 60 FPS games. I think it was pretty cool. You said $210 for a remake. Yeah, exactly. I'm not gonna buy them midway. I learned my lesson with the Dot Hack series. The Dot Hack series humbled me for that kind of shit. Give me a second. I'm holding up a whole bottle of soda. There we go. Anyway, yeah, that's what I was saying, though. So, no. Yuzu is an open source program. It's not going away anytime soon. No issues there. You said what kind of soda? The Coca-Cola. Yes, the Coca-Cola. You haven't thought about Dot Hack in decades? DB, they nuked it. The final Dot Hack was not good times. they ended up like remastering the other Dot Hack. It was all PS2. They were all PS2. If there was a PS3 one ever made, I couldn't tell you anything about that. But here, hold on. I'm pulling this shit up because this is some funny. Here we go. Okay. I want you to understand what they did with Dot Hack. Okay. Okay. So look at this incredible art style. Do you remember Haseo by chance? Because the Forever Alone meme like suits him. That's Haseo there in the final Dot Hack. There you go. Anyway, one thing though, I did choose Alcade, and they did canonically say, yeah, he ended up with Alcade. So I'm like, okay, I like that. Unfortunately, the rest of the game is terrifying and awful. Anyway, it's called Dot Hack Link, and there's a full translation patch if you want to play it in English. Yes, so it is totally possible. Let me see here. What else we got? So, He didn't end up with the healer chick. Oh, you don't understand. The game had like multiple endings, and yeah, like they were pushing really hard for him to be with Adelie, I believe her name was, but then he also had passed with Shino, and Shino came back, and so like yeah, they really had a ton of alternate endings there. You could even choose like some of the weird side characters. It was kind of bonkers. Anyway, yeah. Dot hack even anthropomorphizes Kubia, that big ol' flesh monster that was, you know, the reflection of the bracelet. Yeah, like you can get Kubia in your team in Dot Hack Link because fuck logic and reason. Just make everything a character. Jeez, it's awful. It really is. Let me see here. Swarms mod for Daggerfall. It's good. It's good. Yeah, the Horrible Hordes works really well with the expanded Meaner Monsters edition. I like it a lot. I think I figured out what crashes the game, by the way. It's the dynamic music. If you turn off the dynamic music, the crashes might stop. I haven't tested it yet. I will test it in my next big live stream. But I'm pretty confident it's the dynamic music that's crashing things. Let me see here. Seeing what else is going on here. Yeah. So, based on everything that I've seen, Cetra and Yuzu are both going away due to the agreement that they made with Nintendo. And so there is no there is no hold on. Oh, sorry. There is no hold on. I'm sorry. I got distracted by another thing. Okay, so someone is sending me messages here. Let me pull it up really quick. Okay, so Yuzu had support fixes specifically for Tears of the Kingdom emulation behind their Patreon that they were charging for. Yeah, that's what happened. Yeah. That's specifically why Nintendo was going after them. Remember when Tears of the Kingdom got what do you call it, leaked early, and people were emulating it? Well, apparently they were Yuzu specifically had fixes that made Tears of the Kingdom 100% playable in its leaked form. And yeah, and holy shit, yeah, they were charging for it. So rather than just releasing those fixes as a part of like the next Yuzu build, they built it into a patch, and you had to have subscribed to Yuzu's Patreon to get access to the version that would run the Tears of the Kingdom like leak. In other words, like they proved, like Nintendo was able to legitimately prove that Yuzu was facilitating piracy. It not just that Yuzu was trying to create an emulator, because emulators are legal, right? Yuzu was proven to be facilitating piracy, as in like going to an active effort. As you know, in intent, they could prove, like Nintendo was able to prove intent, And that's what got them. That's why they settled. That's why they shuttered their company, gave Nintendo all their money, and fucked off. Is because they were caught with their hand in the in the cookie jar. They were building fixes for games that could only be obtained via piracy, aka unreleased content, and then paywalling it. So it's not just that they were trying to create the best emulator ever. It's that Yuzu's company was literally like selling piracy. Yeah, they were selling piracy. That's fucking bonkers. I'm a huge supporter of emulation. I absolutely adore emulation, but when like shit like this is indefensible, I'm blown away. Holy crap. Yeah. Let me see. Yeah, they were making money off of the unreleased game. How expensive are cosmetics in Final Fantasy XIV? There are no loot boxes in Final Fantasy XIV, so you buy the cosmetics outright. But I paid like $7 for this pretty songbird outfit. And here, let me do the heart thing. There you go. As I was saying, yeah. So I paid like $7 for this. It was on sale. But they have periodic sales on their cosmetics in Final Fantasy XIV, but everything is guaranteed to you get what you pay for. Essentially, it's not like the Elder Scrolls Online, where a lot of the cosmetics are inside of loot boxes. You know, you thought the bike was pretty nice? Yeah, I like the bike. I don't have a whole lot of I don't think I have any purchased mounts, because like I like all the mounts in game. So I'm looking through this list. I think no, the only mount I got that you can't just get easily is the Refer a Friend two-seater chocobo. Yeah. Someone asked what server I'm on. I play on the Fairy server on the Ether data center. I used to be on Balmung on the Crystal data center, but I moved because some of my friends are on this server, and a couple of my other friends are on Gilgamesh, and so I can like easily local hop. Also, additionally, Balmung was too like crowded. I couldn't do shit there, like, without having abysmal frame rates, and like big server queues during patch days. So I moved over to Fairy, and I'm very happy I did that. Let me see here. Yeah, you can go to the in-room, and you can see all of the you can see your character and any outfit you want to buy before you you can like try before you buy by having your character sleep in a bed, and then like you access the cash shop through the bed, and yeah, you can do it that way. Hey, Rinslayer, thanks. Move this so I can see the chat window. It's not letting me see the chat window. Well, either way, thanks for subscribing. I was gonna say I did a stupid thing, and the Twitch chat window went away forevermore. It's like, excuse me. Anyway, let me see here. Many hair options, a lot of hair options. There are a lot of base hair options, and then there are more that unlock as you do different things. For example, this is an unlocked hairstyle. 73 months. Yeah, you're crazy, but I love you being around, really. You play all the right games. Oh wow, it played the sound effect again, but it didn't show anything. That's kind of weird, doubling up there. Let me read my my stream control panel so I can make sure there's nothing I really missed. There we go. Go. Now let me click a couple more buttons here. Yeah, 73 months. That was the last thing that popped on. Cool. Well, I appreciate it. Let me see. Oh, yeah, hairstyles. So, as far as that goes, like, this is a hairstyle from, like, a level 70... No, it was level 80 area. And, the point is that as you play and you do different pieces of content, you will occasionally get access to, different cosmetics and hair unlocks that you can then, there's a bell over here. Not this bell. There's a different bell that lets you access the hairstylist. And so, yeah, you can do that without a problem. Like, be able to switch your hairstyle up. Costs a little bit of in-game money that you get from doing anything. Let me see here. The key point is you don't want to hide the cat ears. Correct. I don't think any of the hairstyles for the Makote hide the ears, actually. I can't think of any that do that. I can use the joy button to make the ears wiggle. See? The ear wiggle is very important. But no, let's see here. So, you heard this game had an abysmal launch. So, that game, the Final Fantasy XIV was shut down and replaced with Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn. And so, the game that had the terrible launch is gone now. And that was like 7 years ago now. So it's a completely different game, and is actually, as far as the storyline goes, this is the sequel to that game. As in, like, canonically, the events that happened in the original Final Fantasy XIV exist, but at the climax of the big battle, the heroes disappeared. There was a calamity that, like, wrecked the world. And, like, this is years later, everyone's starting to recover. And you've shown up again as, like, possibly, maybe not, it's up to your role play, the hero, like, one of the heroes that had disappeared at that, you know, critical moment. That's what they did. Yeah. So, they relaunched the game, and, like, they have a lot of the same dungeons, but they are different because, you know, like, some passageways got wrecked, and, like, they've been redesigned because the original game was terrible. They, like, when the new developers took over from the old developers, they realized that that they realized that the game was unsalvageable. And so they basically they split up into two teams. One very small team kept the old game updated long enough to keep, like, the small player base that was left happy. And then the new team made in one year A Realm Reborn story, which is considered by most to be the weakest part of Final Fantasy XIV. I can tell you flat out that the writing quality triples when you get into the first expansion pack, Heavensward. Like, the game gets a lot... people meme about how, you know, the game gets better 50 hours in. But no, seriously, about, like, if you mainline the main quest, about 30 hours in, the game gets way, way, way better. Yeah. You said the concept of replacing a game for being bad is a rather wacky thing. Yes, but remember, it was a subscription MMO. It's not like a... they had to do it. Like, otherwise the game was just going to get shut down. Like, and it would have been inaccessible after that. So they replaced it with something that has endured for, like, what, 7 years now? 8 years now? Something like that. It's, they obviously made the right decision. There is an emulated server for 1.0 right now. You can't do a whole lot in it other than, like, the Ifrit fight and stuff. But it's definitely a time capsule, that's for sure. I do, like, I looked at the crafting and stuff in 1.0, and you can actually play the old crafting mini game. You said the game passed the 10-year mark? Okay, so it's been like 9 years since it rebooted, or is that 10 years for the whole, for Realm Reborn? See, I have no sense of time. I obviously just cannot even, can't, no. Anyway. Let's see here. I'm still looking at things. Okay. So yeah. It looks like I understand now why a Realm Reborn, not Realm Reborn. Jeez. Why the Yuzu company got shuttered. This was indefensible. They, like, that is incredible. Yep. Okay. So Cetra's been shut down because the lead developer was running on both Cetra and Yuzu. So they shut down both Cetra and Yuzu. Let's see what else we got. Okay. Right. Like, I am, I'm still skimming down this list of information that people are sending me. Yeah. People are concerned that Nintendo is going to go after a bunch more projects, and they might. That is a distinct possibility. But it seems like the primary reason why Yuzu was shut down was because they were paywalling fixes for pirated games, as in like a game that was only accessible via piracy, hadn't been released yet. So they were able to demonstrate to the court that that they weren't only enabling piracy, they were actively facilitating it, as in like they were targeting pirates and offering them fixes for pirated software. Like that, because again, we've already established through legal doctrine that emulation is legal. So like that's not even a concern. It's very, very interesting. Let me see, hit some buttons. Yeah, I looked into it, and I'm gonna send people messages. So, okay. I'm just double checking. Okay, here we go. I'm typing shenanigans. Okay. I looked into it, and emulation as a whole is unaffected. This is a out-of-court settlement, meaning no legal doctrine was created. However, Nintendo, it's called Yuzu, Yuzu. I'm blank on this. Hold on. Okay. Yuzu, paywalled fixes for Tears of the Kingdom when the game was pre-release. Leaked pre-release. That means that they were able to prove hold on. That Yuzu was catering to pirates, not just making an emulator. Yes. Okay. There you go. I finished typing that. Put it in my Discords there. Yes. It wasn't that they made an emulator that pirates could use. It's that they were specifically, yeah. They were, giving the pirates, oh boy. One dude has 38. Let me look. Let me look at my Steams. We'll pull my Steams up in just a second. I know I have it around here somewhere. Okay, Steam library. Where's my Steam? There's my Steam library. Okay, apparently I've played a little bit, a teeny tiny bit of Final Fantasy XIV. Let me pull this up here. So, whoops, there we go. Good. Here's my Final Fantasy XIV. As you can see, I don't have that many hours. It's a very, very small amount of playtime. Nothing major. Let me see here. Yeah, that's just a teeny tiny little bit of playtime. Anyway, yep. Okay. Let me see. Average 7 hours every day since release. Yeah, I couldn't say that. I admit to having this game open and me not doing anything in it, like this right there. But you know, I'll very often just be logged in, third monitor, talking to free company friends and stuff. You know, kicking back, relaxing. Yep. Let me see. Anyway, all right. Some people say Bethesda couldn't make Morrowind today. Of course they couldn't. Of course they couldn't. Wouldn't work. Blazing Saddles. Hey. What was that game called? No. Anyway, let me see. You turned off dynamic music and the crashes stopped. Cool. I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad I was able to be helpful because I've done nothing but ramble today, so it's nice. Yuzu's still in the Flatpak manager. Cool. Let me pull up my Discover store and download it real quick. Oh my god. Okay. Yuzu! It's time to install via Flatpak. I mean, it's not like it's lost. I could always, like, download the source code from another repository and build it myself. I've done that before. But, yeah, Cetra's up on Flatpak right now. Cool. What do you call it? Yeah, you can see right there the downloading part right there, right down at the bottom of the screen there. Yeah, no issues. Ah, this is freaking funny. It's almost done downloading. I'll grab Cetra afterward. It belongs in a museum. Yes. Jeez. Let me hit some buttons. I know I had a thing there. Was good. Let's me about a thing. Hold on. Let's go down to 6. Yeah. It belongs in a museum. Holy crap. Okay. Still looking at a couple more things. Anyway, yeah, Yuzu has finished downloading. It's on my Flatpak there. I'm on the Ferry server on the Ether data center. I used to be on Balmung, but they were too crowded. Let's go Cetra. I'm down. Okay, looks like Cetra's on Flatpak as well. So we're grabbing that. Yep, we're downloading Cetra. Cetra's like almost done. Cetra's quick. Yeah. My goodness. You said 10,000 hours between 2 accounts? Oh, let's look at my Warframe hours. let's go. Let's have a look at that. Hold on. Fuck. What are you doing, Steam? Steam's not responding to my call, unfortunately. That's the thing. Oh, because Cetra was installing. Okay, we got it. Cool. I think it was... Whoops. Okay. Warframe. So it looks like I've got 5,345 45 hours in Warframe. That's fine. What else we got? I guess Elder Scrolls Online. We got 1,000 hours. 1,063. Yep. Okay. I don't know what that is. Which server is that? Have to look at the server status. Yeah. I don't see that in here. SAR. Oh. Let's see what it says.
Sargatanas.
Sargatanas. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. We're in the same data center. That's cool. Has some lunatic made Daggerfall multiplayer? No. They've been... Several people have messed around with it on a basic level, but nobody has any interest in fleshing it out other than to play around with the idea. There's been like 3 attempts to just like see if it could work in Unity, and it did. Like all 3 times they did some stuff in it. No big deal. Didn't mean a whole lot though. Let's see here. What do I got here? Live streaming right now. Someone in the chat brought up that Yuzu and Cetra are on Flatpak. I grabbed them. Yep, there you go. Not that there won't be forks later, but if I want to play now, I can. LOL. All right. Let me see here. So Strat, here's what happened. The Yuzu Emulator, they shuttered their LLC and paid Nintendo out their coffers, and have shut down all their download links. Yuzu, the Switch emulator, and Cetra, the DS emulator, are now officially gone, noting that they were both open source projects, which means they are now the property of the internet. And the internet will fork them, make new projects with the same name, with different names, and otherwise continue as they see fit. But the primary developers have injunctions against them to be, you said this sets a bad precedent? No, it doesn't. Yuzu was guilty. Guilty, I say. they were facilitating piracy. And I don't just mean they were making an emulator. I mean that when Tears of the Kingdom initially got leaked as like a pirate-only product, they paywalled on their Patreon specific fixes for it, meaning that they were facilitating piracy. They weren't just giving you an emulator that you could pirate with. They hid the fixes behind a paywall where they could force as many pirates to pay up in order to get access to that that pirated content. The only thing those fixes were for was for the Tears of the Kingdom pre-release build. Yes. And so Nintendo have at them, and rather than fight them for many, many years and lose, they went ahead and just shuttered their company and paid out their coffers to Nintendo. That's what happened. So, but they're both open source projects, so the internet gets them regardless. I just downloaded them on Flatpak because they're on Flatpak, so, you know. I've got both emulators now. Lol. But yeah, we're not doing a whole lot, Strat. We're mostly just yapping about the history of Final Fantasy XIV and how, you know, it was originally like a terrible video game that got shut down and then relaunched. You know, like, and then of course we're discussing the Nintendo thing. I've got like another hour before I gotta run, so I didn't really have the time to play video games for any real length of time today. I got done with work around, you know, like a little ways away. You're having a hard time getting Final Fantasy XIV to run. Oh, really? Let me offer you thingamabobber. Hold on. Yeah, Red Mage is my favorite. Okay, I'm gonna give you a link, Strat, to the XIV launcher, and you should download this. It is a quick launcher which uses its own framework. If you like, it will re-download the game, but inside of that quick launcher folder. And it gives you access to a lot of accessibility stuff, like it can text-to-speech the, what do you call it, the dialogue bubbles and stuff, if you need it to. Bunch of other stuff is built into that, like, what do you call it, program settings and things that you would normally have to do INI tweaks to get the game to run with. Point is, like, it's considered the de facto best launcher for the game. Better than the vanilla one. So it's got like a bunch of accessibility plugins you can toggle on inside of its framework and stuff. But yeah, that's the quick launcher. You can also do absolutely absurd modded stuff, like turn everyone in the game into Lolafels if you wanted to, but I don't recommend any of that. Just stick to the accessibility plugins. And it'll probably run the game better. If nothing else, you'll get more options, and more options are good. Anyway, so let me double check a few more things. Magic resist in Oblivion, yeah. There's a reason why in Skyrim they capped magic resist and physical damage reduction, because otherwise you could just break the game and be unkillable. Be a god. You know that resist normal weapons is a thing in Morrowind? Like, you can actually, through enchantments and shit, give yourself 100% resist magic weapons. Resist normal weapons and just be unkillable by non-mages. It's very silly. Morrowind is a little bit busted. Oblivion is less busted, but Skyrim is the most balanced in that sense, which I don't think is necessarily a good thing. It just is. For you, it's 100% chameleon? Yeah. Invisibility goes away when you do shit, but chameleon doesn't. So 100% chameleon just makes you a god in Oblivion. In Morrowind, there are still checks that happen in the background, so you can fail and be spotted even with 100% chameleon. In Morrowind, if you're out of stamina or something, like they're like Morrowind's chameleon isn't as busted as Oblivion's, because Oblivion got rid of all the checks, and yeah. Let me see here. Let's see, sneak into the girls' locker rooms. I'm just thinking like the moth priests and where the Elder Scrolls are kept. Jeez. Let's see, what other nonsense did we have? Jeez. This is funny stuff. They're all busted. Yes. Yeah. Western Colovia, where men are men. I think, here, hold on. Let me find it. I think I think I have the voice line. God damn it. It gave me a suggestion and it's not right. There we go. No, it's not UESP. It's the other one. Okay. Yeah. Here we go. I need to mute Final Fantasy XIV. God, there's no mute button over there. Let me do this then. Master volume. All right, here we go. Listen.
In the West, in old Colovia, that's where men are men.
There we go. That's what I'm talking about. All right. So, yeah. By the way, what's his name? The voice actor. He said today that like all reproductions of his voice via AI are theft and not allowed. Yeah. Let me pull it up real quick. Wes Johnson. Yes. Wes Johnson said, I do not give permission for anyone to use my voice for AI training or performance without compensation. That's right. If you hear my voice anywhere via AI, it is not with my permission. I reject and condemn its usage as thievery. And he's got a pay with your blood at the bottom there. So, yeah, I mean, like, basically, if you're using the AI mods, like, what is that place called? Better Cities. Then he condemns that as theft. I went ahead and downloaded Better Cities in case it gets deleted, but yeah, I mean, there's going to be a whole reckoning when it comes to what do you call it? AI voice and face like usage for impersonation because of like, I'm not saying now, but I'm saying when a sufficiently wealthy individual gets their likeness aped, there's going to be lawsuits. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. You said AI training is unavoidable. Honestly, it's going to come down to eventually, like, the scraping of data sets. Like, data sets are going to have to show receipts from where, like, all training that they've got. You'd be surprised how different a personally trained model is versus something like, like the big, the big, we call it professional ones. And it's going to be great. AI blockchain. Do you understand how big? That's impossible. Like, the blockchain. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. The blockchain is some really interesting technology, but it is very, very expensive to put a very, very small amount of data on the blockchain. And so imagine, like, it, no, that's just not reasonable. Like, you need several supercomputers. Jeez. Yeah. The cost would be beyond astronomical. Exactly. I was going to say, most people don't have the ability to host an AI neural network on their local intranet, let alone, putting that on the blockchain. Jeez. Isn't there already a tool that isn't AI that does all the voice work for you? Yes. It's a but it's very scratchy. It's like it's a grady, scratchy voice. It's not good. You said get Voices of Vardenfell before the Nexus removes it. Yes. Was going to say I've already gotten Voices of Vardenfell, and I've already got the OpenMW module for it. It works, by the way. Not as much of Voices of Vardenfell is voiced as I thought it was, honestly. But yeah, you should definitely grab that if you have the chance. There's an OpenMW module for it now, and I tested it. It works. So you can have all your Morrowind dialogue for the main quest voiced, noting that many parts of the game are still unvoiced. But like, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Let's put it like that. Let me see. Is there anything else we need to talk about while I'm here and still alive? All right, let's see. AI won't get rid of devs and programmers, but it will reduce the demand for labor force. So, actually, I talked to a senior software engineer every once in a while, and he actually tried to use AI to write code for him, and he said it's at present it is identical to a junior. When I say identical, I mean identical in terms of like labor. It's identical to having a junior programmer working for you, in the sense that you got to check their stuff, you got to fix all the bullshit that they do, and in general, it's just still going to take you a while, right? So it doesn't replace the senior software engineer, because like AI is not perfect. At the end of the day, it's not true intelligence. It's a predictive module. So yeah. Like, what ends up happening is like, according to the senior software engineer, like he had to go and fix all the mistakes and bugs and everything, and that's exactly the same what would happen if you set a junior programmer to the task. Is they would have bugs and mistakes and things, So it just basically replaces the lowest skilled labor. But the higher skilled labor still needs to be there to look over its shoulder, because it cannot be trusted on its own. Anyway, Strat says, before you forget, you wanted to thank me for getting into Final Fantasy XIV. It's your favorite MMO right now? Cool. If you want to thank me, then when you get up to the level 50 shit, let's run the raids together. I need to relive that shit through having actual human people doing it for the first time. And yeah, okay. Yeah, that's the Crystal Tower raid series, and the what do you call it? The Binding Coils of Bahamut. Both are going to require that you finish a quest called the Ultimate Weapon, which I'm sure at that point you should, as soon as you finish the Ultimate Weapon and you watch the credits, go make your video before you do anything else, because there's a lot more to it after that. And like, your opinion will likely shift a bit afterward, and it's good to have a before take and an after take. See what I'm saying? Because like you will see like the ending credits will roll for the video game, but then afterward the game will keep going, and you should definitely make your video after the credits roll, but before you keep playing. That's my opinion. That's my suggestion to you, sir. Anyway. The problem is AI eats away at junior opportunities. There's no pool to draw senior positions from. Correct. That is, you see, the real problem is that when jobs are lost to automation, they never come back. And eventually the pool gets deteriorated to the point at which it drives up the cost of those senior positions in ensuing generations. And we've seen that happen in other industries. Right now, we're in a position where due to a lack of skilled labor, we're going to have trouble getting certain types of glass made locally in the United States. And that's going to become a real problem for us in the next 20 or so years unless we find a solution. I mean, there are tons of solutions, but when I say find a solution, what I actually mean is implement one. And, like, people can offer solutions all they fucking want, but until big companies and industry decide to implement those solutions, we all suffer. So, I'm going to be vague on this shit because I only have a small understanding of it. Other people can certainly chime in at a later point in time with their opinions, but for now, it's very similar in many respects. The idea of skilled labor and the disincentivizing of getting into that skilled labor until it's basically too late. And yeah, let me see. The tech sphere requirements for an entry position is deranged, like 5 years experience in software that's only existed for 5 months. Yes, well, I've seen that, but you can apply anyway, and just tell them this software has only existed for 5 months and I'm an expert in it. And, that's what you got to do. Okay. Like, you just, when you get asked the interview questions, you just tell them whoever wrote this doesn't understand tech and I do. You should hire me because I do. I'm not saying I do me myself. I'm saying whoever's like being interviewed does. There's the fact is you basically have to disregard a lot of those job recs, like as far as their posted requirements go, and just go to the interview anyway and tell those people, yeah, you guys don't know what you're talking about. Like, and if they decline to hire you, well, they're going to decline to hire the next 20 people and then realize they made a mistake. And they might call you back after they realize they made a mistake. So, yeah. Let me see here. Okay. Am I real or an AI? Yeah, I don't know. Okay. You think recommendations are 10 times more important than other factors? True. But a lot of it comes down to how you present yourself in the interview. That's absolutely right. So, anyway, looking down this list. Okay. Closing a few extra windows, which happen to still be open for no reason. And, yeah, I'm still skimming down this list because a lot of people are talking about Yuzu, and a lot of those people don't know what they're talking about. Like, there's no legal precedent that's been set. This is an out-of-court settlement. So, you don't have to worry too much. Let me see here. Local companies having difficult time finding an OS2 programmer for its legacy systems. I understand that. Like, a lot of people are retired at this point. I mean, there weren't computer science courses like in like your average college back when someone with real experience was just, just being available for the first time. Like that's the thing about computer science is like if you look at like you look at DOS and early Windows, even like Windows NT, stuff like that, all the programmers are aging out of the workforce, and there's no one really able to replace them at this point. Like it's interesting to think about the number of fields where like government computers are still running these things. Assembly. Yeah. Well, yeah. I have a family member who writes assembly. He's retired and just does it for fun at this point. Like works with some nonprofit organizations and like like interfaces between them and Amazon Web Services and a bunch of other people to get shit done for basically free because he's retired. So yeah. I was gonna say that yeah, it's interesting because you look at like the oldest and lowest level stuff, and people again, they didn't have computer science courses back then, that taught programming and stuff. So everyone from that era was essentially self-taught, and it's very interesting. You said USPS and most banks still run OS2 for the ATM machines. I wasn't able to confirm that, but like I had heard people say similar about ATMs. Yeah. You have public buildings still run XP on their PCs. Oh, look, I understand that, but XP's dangerous at this point. Like, XP hasn't received security updates in a long, long time. Are those internet capable, or are they only on an intranet? Because if they're only on an intranet, then it doesn't matter, right? Because no one's going to be able to hack them from, like, the internet. But if they're online, then there's a problem, like a real problem. They've probably already been added to a botnet and no one's noticed. That's the sad reality. You pray it's only intranet, but you're not optimistic. Okay. Yeah. Oh, jeez. Let me see here. You know a local company that shifted from JavaScript to C embedded and like 20% quit or couldn't fill the criteria for the new job. That's one of the biggest like pieces of bullshit that goes on in the industry in general is the idea that why did you quit this company right after you got hired? And like you have to say it. You just have to tell the person who's interviewing you, the job they gave me was not the one I applied for. How many times? How many? Anyone here? You ever have that? The job they gave me was not the one I applied for. Oh, jeez. Let me. I'm gonna grab a drink real quick. Hold on. Okay. Let me see here. You've heard that many, many times. I know. Okay. You think the most cash registers are running old OS? Well, yeah. Cash registers don't usually matter, though, because they're set in stone. They can't be updated. You know, you can't put a USB stick into a cash register and overwrite its operating system. It is as it was programmed to be, for the most part. Not saying that's true of all cash registers, but a good number of them are just like as is and will never be updated. All right, let's see. You said twice, fired from both for not adapting. Next employer seemed to understand. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like that's just what you gotta do. You gotta tell your next employer that the job they gave me was not the one I applied for. He said some use Windows 7. Well, it depends on how much writable storage they have and whether that writable storage is, used by the operating system. Let's see. A computer you can't hack because it runs on a mysterious black box that runs on a proprietary operating system. Yeah. God, what was the name of that famous Chinese operating system? It was technically a Linux variant. I think it was based on Debian, but it was specifically Chinese, and it phones home every 5 seconds, and it's amazing. I forgot what it was called, but it was a Chinese Debian variant. Geez, Red Star OS. Red Star sounds about right. I don't know for sure though. Yeah. The North Korean one, Red Star. Okay. The North Korean one. Thank you. I don't know why I said Chinese. Must be thinking of a different one. Thank you. Red Star is North Korean. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That was a meme. That was a meme on the internet a while ago, and I've since I've not interfaced with that part of the internet for a while. So I'm not talking about like North Korea. I'm talking about like the Linux memes. I haven't messed with Linux memes in a hot minute. So that's Hannah Montana. Yeah, exactly. The biggest meme was Temple OS, which is real and very interesting to look at because the person who made it was crazy and gave their life for it, essentially. All right. Debian Gen 2. I mean, Gen 2, you compile everything from source, so one of my favorite memes was having all of the people really, really pissed at a what do you call it? A live install a live boot installer for Arch Linux, because people are like you're lowering the bar to entry for Arch Linux to the point where like an idiot who doesn't know what they're doing will get access to it, and then they'll break their computer and they'll come bother us. All the elitists got really fucking pissed about it because exactly, an automatic install script. But no, this was detailed. It was great, and the reactions were so so many people got pissed off about it because you're gonna let normies in, and the normies are going to clog up our good forums with stupid questions. That's the Arch Linux crowd right there. You said North Korean population may be stuck in the 90s with computers, but let's see. The state hackers are apparently some of the world's finest. It makes sense. I mean, how do you get out of poverty? And the answer is you be indispensable to the people who distributes the money and or in the goods. The if you dedicate yourself to being indispensable, being a 40-year-old man, you would be a Linux idiot. I mean, I run, um, uh, see, you said all Arch distros now have the GUI installer. Cool, cool. Well, again, I was looking, like, I was watching, sorry, I was looking back on the memes, you know, based on that. I haven't been tuned into Linux memes in a long, long time. But the cool thing about the memes is they're like a time capsule, right? You know, you can see all of the comments um, back then. You might try Arch. Arch is pretty good as long as you're willing to update like every other week. If you don't update frequently, what can end up happening is the next update might have dependencies that your current computer can't fulfill. In which case, you're going to you're going to have problems. Am I going to install Plasma 6? Yes, but after it plays nice with Nvidia. Right now, a couple of my friends who have Nvidia, they installed it and they got immersive black screens and had to use the what do you call it, the system restore script thing from the rescue terminal to go back to the previous version because they just got an immersive black screen because the default for a Plasma 6 is Wayland now, and that certain Nvidia cards do not play well with Wayland. Yep. You said you never had any issues with Kubuntu. Kubuntu is an older version of the KDE suite of applications. So, what do you call it? Basically, KDE Neon are like the beta testers for Kubuntu. What do I mean by that? Well, okay, so Kubuntu has its own internal testers, its development builds. From there, it gets published to the main KDE Neon people. So, sorry, KDE Neon development to KDE Neon release, and then after a little while, it goes to Kubuntu. So anything that didn't get caught in the development builds gets caught by me, not by me, but by the people who use what I use. And then afterward, it goes after it gets fixed, it goes to the Kubuntu people. So basically, you're getting a double checked, double fixed version. That's the best way to put it. Yes. Yes, I'm using the long-term support version of Ubuntu because I don't want the core operating system to change very much. I like having a reliable, unchanging foundation to my computer for the most part. Still does security updates and bug fixes, but it's doing the LTS version, which is good. Let me see here. Still wacky. You can run across obscure 1990s websites in their original state. Yeah. I mean, you can. That's not a big deal. Let me see here. Anyway, looking at other posts to see what everyone else is saying about this amazing shenanigan. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, a lot of people online don't know what they're talking about, saying it's the ultimate end for Yuzu. Like, it's open source software. It's gonna keep going. All right, let's see here. What else we got? Okay. You said Pineapple Yuzu still up? Well, here's the thing. Yuzu's open source, so all the forks of it are still up. Also, the flat pack of Yuzu and Cetra are still up. I just downloaded them right now, like about 30 minutes ago. So, you know, no big deal there. All right, let's see. Like, the fact is that everything Yuzu officially controls is just going to be deleted. And then, like, their company's getting shuttered, and the money their company had is just going to Nintendo. And that's it. Their LLC is basically going to be dissolved. So the people, like the lead developers, agreed to not develop emulation anymore. So they're going to have to abide by that, unfortunately. But there's like, it's open source, so any forks that exist of it will continue to exist, and you know, that's just how it is. Like, no question. I have a cat that's trying to like paw my leg right now. Give me a sec. I got to deal with this. AFK. There we go. Oof. Let me fix this. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Good. Good. Cat has been dealt with. So, as I was saying, yeah, the moment I was about to get up to let the cat out, my wife opened the door, and that was all fixed. Yes. Let's see here. Yeah, AMD has open source drivers, and that's why AMD is almost always ahead of the curve when it comes to making like brand new games work that are otherwise resistant to working. That's just kind of how that works. But let me see here. What else? Yeah, Nvidia's proprietary drivers have been a problem for a while now. That said, Nvidia released like the general framework for their drivers in order to facilitate the building of open source ones. And the open source drivers are chugging along. They aren't great, but they're getting there. They're getting there. It's give it another 2-3 years, and we'll have open source Nvidia drivers that are better than the proprietary ones. It's chugging along. People really do want to have you know, functional Nvidia ones. So I'm only using Nvidia. It's not that I'm like particularly attached to one company or another. I just use Nvidia because they have an NVENC module, Nvidia encoder module on their cards, which mean that I'm basically, I don't have to spend anything in the way of CPU resources to live stream. I can just live stream off of the graphics card essentially, and it barely uses any of either in order to get a functional live stream. It allows me to not have to do the, you know, 2 computer setup, which is the average for live streamers. I like having just one little PC box that, you know, powers everything. And that's what I'm doing right here. So let me see here. No, and Nvidia is good. Like, I'm using an Nvidia card right now. It's the main reason why I haven't updated to the new version of yeah. Wouldn't know. Never messed with DLSS. Never did. So let me see. And you said Nvidia good but overpriced. Yeah, yeah. I got a good price on my what do you call it? My 4070 Ti though. Let me see here. Mm-hmm. All right. Let me save this. Saving a couple things going on. All right. Mm-hmm. You're still waiting for Proton 9.0? What is slated for update in Proton 9.0? I haven't heard anything about that. Let me mess with something real quick. Okay. Wait. Tekken 8's issues aren't fixed by Glorious Eggroll? Hold on. Looking. Ah, that's interesting. No, it doesn't look like it. Yakuza 5, Dark and Darker. Yeah, it looks like Yakuza's, yeah, that's unfortunate. Let me see here. He said Coke or Pepsi. Usually I just have discount generic cola, but if I had to pick between Coke or Pepsi, I'd choose Coke. Pepsi is a little softer, has a little less of a bite to it, at least as I remember it. Also remember that soda fountain drink is different. You said they fixed something about Warframe, now it's playable again? Oh, yes. Yeah. That's definitely, definitely a thing. Tom Clancy's a Division. I don't know. Like, I haven't played the Division in ages. Last time I played it, I was using Windows. So, and I've never played Division 2 because it looked like Division 1 again. And I wasn't horribly inspired to do that. I'm still looking. Give me a sec to... I'm still skimming down all of the, like, responses to the lawsuit. Seeing what everyone's talking about. It's very interesting, regardless. Well, it looks like that ended the Nintendo conversation over here. Yeah. Yeah, it looks like the vast majority of people discuss... Do I have a Steam Deck? No. No, I don't have a need for portable computing outside of my 4 laptops, all of which exist to facilitate either remote desktopping or word processing. That's what I anytime I'm out and about, I'm either going to just be using my word processor or I'm going to be remote desktopping to my home PC to work. Either way, I don't really have a need for a Nintendo Switch style device. I understand why a lot of people do. Like, people will say, well, I play in bed. And I understand that, but I share a bed, and having a big, bright screen probably isn't the best thing to do, you know. I was going to say, what else? What else? Did you just tunnel to your PC? Yeah. I don't run the remote desktopping software all the time, but if I am going out and I know I'm going to need access to it, I turn the remote desktopping software on. I have several options for that, and they all work pretty damn well when it comes to just basic work. Let me see here. Ubisoft is absolute trash. So, the only time I ever had any of my online accounts hacked at all was my Uplay account. That's the only account that ever got hacked. So everything else is fine. Like, have had no problems ever. Two-factor authentication and occasionally changing passwords has pretty much solidified all my online stuff. It's only Uplay. Only Uplay's gotten hacked. I think that's because it was like a back door, like Ubisoft themselves got hacked, and therefore somehow someone got access to my account. Don't know. It's point is that I now simply crack any game that I have that is Ubisoft based, so that I don't have to use their software. People go, well, what about their online games? And I say, I don't play their online games. That's it. But no. When it came to their single player games, I just crack them because I'm unwilling to run Uplay anymore. You're missing out on all those amazing new Ubisoft. Which ones? Black Flag is the only Assassin's Creed game I unironically like every part of. The old Assassin's Creed games, I like the sci-fi future stuff with the Animus machine, but I only suffered through the assassinating creeding part in order to get to more of the story. And when that part dried up, I dropped the series like a rock. Black Flag is the only Assassin's Creed game I unironically like all of it for. Yeah. There's a little bit of assassinating creeding in Black Flag, but you know, like you get back to your boat soon enough. Yeah. Scratching my head again and things like, yeah, that's just funny. Okay. But yeah, let me see here. Yeah, Black Flag was the best pirate game I'd ever played. Followed by, what do you call it? Wait, what? What? Oh, that's stupid. What is this nonsense? What is this? Look at that. Nintendo killed both Yuzu and Cetro. We've updated EmuDeck, removing them since they're no longer available. What do you mean they're no longer available? You can download them, compile them yourself. They're open source. You fucking morons. You dumbass people. What is wrong with you? We updated since they're no longer available. They're available. You can get them yourself. They're everywhere. Go to GitHub. Search for Yuzu. You can find forks of it. The fear is enough. What the fuck is wrong with you guys? What do you mean you've removed them since they're available? They are available. Fucking dumbasses. Just come out and say that you're scared Nintendo will sue you. Yes. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Oh. Oh, I just looked at it. Okay. So it looks like EmuDeck pulls directly from the the official GitHub repository, and doesn't have an option for you to like add a custom repository. So their software is inflexible. That's basically what it is. Their software is inflexible. Yeah. Got it. Flatpak wins. Yes. Yeah, you can get both of them on Flatpak. That's the funny part. Okay. Okay. Checking a couple more things. Said Skull and Bones is an Ubisoft game. It has legally required to make regardless because of the Singapore Oh, yeah. They took like massive tax breaks from Singapore in order to make the game, and they have to pay all that money back if they didn't release Skull and Bones. So terrified of having to repay their massive debt, they released the game, and the game was terrible. I have not played it, but I've watched some footage, and I know that's a bad game. That's pretty funny, actually. Jeez. You said Twitch is Amazon. Amazon does not want Nintendo to take their properties away from them. What does that have anything to do with it? We were talking about EmuDeck. Yeah. EmuDeck isn't Twitch, is it? Let me look. EmuDeck should be a Steam Deck quick emulator setup. Yeah. Yeah, EmuDeck is a quick setup utility for the Steam Deck. That's what we were talking about. Okay. What will happen to other emulators? Nothing. What do you call it? So, what happened was Nintendo, what do you call it? Nintendo got pissed off because people were pirating, Tears of the Kingdom before it came out, right? And Tears of the Kingdom used special programming that, that Yuzu couldn't like reproduce. So if you tried to play, if you tried to play, like Tears of the Kingdom before it released on Yuzu, it wouldn't work properly. There were like bugs and glitches and things that just didn't function as they should. And so because you what Nintendo figured out was that the Yuzu developers quickly fixed the problem and paywalled their fixes behind their Patreon, meaning you had to subscribe to their Patreon in order to pirate the game, because the game wasn't even released yet, right? So you couldn't even buy an official copy in order to play it legitimately on the emulator. They looked at it and said, like, they made a case for Yuzu is facilitating piracy. Not that using Yuzu is piracy, but the company making Yuzu was selling piracy, which is what they did. And so they nuked the company. Like, sorry, the Yuzu company basically folded, and Nintendo's getting their money. That's it. That's what happened. Yuzu, the lead developer of Yuzu, also worked on Cetra, so both projects are kaput. But that doesn't matter because they're both open source, which means anyone can just, fork them. The official repositories are gone, but all the unofficial ones are still up. So, like, I just downloaded both emulators off of Flatpak while we were talking. Said emulation in general is safe. Emulation is legal. It's just that Yuzu was doing a lot of shady shit, and Cetra was collateral damage because same developer. But as far as safe goes, well, that depends on what you do with it. Are you pirating? Are you a pirate by chance? Is that it? If you're a pirate, maybe it's not safe. Just saying. Anyway, so, wait. You said that Skull and Bones is the first quadruple A bankruptcy scheme. I wouldn't say that, but yeah. Can you charge for emulation software? That's a very good question. I would say yes, in theory, because like there are devices such as the Retron and other emulation boxes that have an emulator in them. I guess you're selling the hardware, not the software, but the software's in it. So, like, it really comes down to, you know, whether or not you are a, what do you call it? Like, it's gray territory, I would say. Flat out. Some games are bundled with emulators. Yes, but you have to remember that depends on the game, right? Really depends on the game. Yep. Seems like it's on the gray side unless you're the owner. Well, I mean, who is the owner of an emulator when it's open source? FOSS, free open source software, right? Yeah. You found Yuzu on FlatHub? Yeah. I downloaded it during this stream. So, what's Flatpak? Flatpak is like a distribution method for FlatHub. Yeah. FlatHub. I'll link it there. There you go. There's FlatHub. So, basically, what happens is a normal Linux program, you have to have all of the like requirements for the program to work. But what a Flatpak does is it creates a little sandbox where you have all of the requirements downloaded at the same time. So regardless of what kind of software your computer is running, as long as your computer runs Flatpak or flat, you know, the Flatpak software, you get the whole bundle, the requirements and the software itself running in one little sandbox. And so it facilitates the installation of software. My goodness, let's see here. Thing you have to know is you have to be worried about viruses, know what you're downloading, have good anti-malware software. Anti-malware software is good to have, especially if you think what you're downloading is questionable. However, if you don't know the difference, that's the biggest security flaw is the user in terms of being able to understand like what software sources are legitimate versus which software sources are not. You said Linux can't have malware. Linux is far less predisposed to have malware, but it absolutely can. You should absolutely look at the sources you're downloading to make sure that they have like an unimaginable number of downloads and are rated well. Because if stuff on Flatpak is reported enough, it'll be taken down. But if something's been put up like same day, it's not good to have. No. It said you can get malware on wine. Malware on wine is interesting because it usually only runs while the wine instance is running. But that can still be really bad if you're running, you know, like that particular program for long periods of time. It can still be like downloading your files and using you as a botnet regardless. So let me see. You can accidentally run into Windows malware on wine. Yes. Yes. Let me see here. I mean, as long as the wine instance is still running, like malware made for Windows can still do Windows related shit to you. Or using your computer as, again, like a remote terminal to send DDoS and shit. Yep. Live USB images that can help. Yes. That's true. Yeah, you can boot your computer entirely from a USB stick and not run your operating system. And it can just look at your files and identify infections, quarantine, or even sometimes repair those files without ever having booted your computer up using the normal operating system. So if like your operating system is compromised, you can just straight up fix it, without having to worry. Because that's one of the primary features of really good malware. When I say really good, I mean like really well-built malware is to prevent anti-malware from running. So let me see here. You said it's funny how poorly optimized copyright law is. Well, yeah, it is like in theory, companies want as little copyright law as possible, except that which protects them, and they don't really want anything else running because that would like anything that protects the small person needs to be gotten rid of. Anything that protects the large corporation that's what gets kept, and it's very interesting how. Like fair use doctrine exists in the West, especially in the United States, but it doesn't exist at all in certain Eastern countries such as Japan. And so the different justice systems kind of butt heads at times. But yeah, from what I'm looking at, and again, do not take this as legal advice, but it looks like Yuzu was doing shit that would have gotten them completely wrecked in court, completely unrelated to running an emulator, right? Like running an emulator was the least of what wasn't the cardinal sins they performed. It was the direct pandering to pirates. All right. Let me see here. Mm-hmm. What else we got? Mm-hmm. Chase. All kinds of nonsense. All right. Ryujinx is still active and it's open source. That's cool. Let's see. Yuzu has a brand new release as a screenshot on FlatHub. It makes sense because they, the people who maintain the FlatHub are probably not the Yuzu company employees, right? That makes a lot of sense, really. Like the company, the Yuzu company employees basically shut that shit down, like all the shit they controlled down right away. Whereas the Flatpak maintainers are like, we're gonna update this and let as many people have it as possible. Makes sense. Said Ryujinx doesn't run very well as Yuzu did on your PC. Well, thankfully Yuzu's still accessible, but yeah. It looks like it's going to be interesting to see what's going on there. Let's just say. Mm-hmm. You like to ask, what anti-malware does everyone use? Krapesky, probably. Do you use /browse TrueSTL? No. But I have a funny meme that I saw recently, which was, let me see here. Where's my thing about? I'm looking for it. Hold on. Let me see. Like TrueSTL memes work their way to social media, and from there, they work their way onto my Discord server. So, eventually we get them, mostly. But I'm trying to find a specific one. So, it's in Bethesda shitposting and I believe it's Yeah. Okay. I just have to skim really quick. I'm going through this list. Ah, here it is. I found it. Okay. Here's the
Please select desired text on the website first.
Shut up! I clicked the wrong button. Here you go. That's a good way to describe true STL right there. I hope that explains things in a way that is that is accurate there to their to what you can find. Yes. All right. Yes. That's that basically sums up true STL in a nutshell. Yes. Okay, give me a second. All right. What about random fetish degeneracy? I wouldn't know about that a whole lot. Definitely. Hold on a second. Let me do that. There we go. Yeah, as I said, I wouldn't know about that. Okay. Yeah. There we go. Okay. That button. There we go. Perfect. All right. That's what I wanted to do. Madness. Yes. Anyway, sometimes true STL leaks over into our Elder Scrolls. Yeah, our Elder Scrolls tends to be, like, at least when I saw it a few years ago, because again, I'm not a Redditor, so, like, I get linked to Reddit posts, but, you know, that's a different matter. So, like, as far as that goes, they tend to be very resistant to criticism about the Elder Scrolls, very hostile to it. And, you know, because they're fans. And let's be honest, fans just want to come home from work and enjoy their product. Consume. But that's okay. That's okay. There's room for everyone in this world. It's just that that's not a space I typically inhabit, you know? I criticize the things I like, and there's always a lot of fun doing that. So, you know, like I haven't visited any of the subreddits in quite some time. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. I was I was reading I was skimming down for more posts about Yuzu, and someone said like regarding another particular streamer I occasionally pop into. She is a dork and everyone should know. I refuse to be silent any longer. My truth is out. That's funny. Very true. Very true. All right. How are things supposed to get better if they don't face problems? Well, yeah. He said Reddit is a disease and you don't brag about having it. Oh. Well, the issue with Reddit for me is that they push down posts that are like controversial. Like if I ever were to go to a Reddit post, what I do is I sort the comments by controversial, right? Because that's where the good posts are going to be, with lots of upvotes and downvotes, you know? Like ones that aren't necessarily like it's basically the reverse of what the consensus is. That's where you're going to find the interesting posts. Usually posts that you want to throw in a garbage can, but sometimes you'll find like wisdom in there. Whereas anything with a ton of upvotes, you need to like that's shit you've already read. That's like there's nothing new there. That's just people in an echo chamber being in an echo chamber. Anyway, let me see. It's safest to stay away from the feed. I don't look at the feed. I look at like I will get linked posts every once in a while, and when I do, I will look at the comments on those posts and usually be disappointed in humanity. But that's a different matter altogether. Let me see. Yeah, I don't see anything new about Yuzu. Like, the emulator is completely usable on, like, you can download it on Flatpak if you're using Linux. I'm sure that if you look up, if you go to GitHub and you search Yuzu, you should be able to find some repositories that are running it. And that should be good enough, I think. Let me see. But yeah, all the people who are talking about it, oh, what else? Okay. Apparently no context Super Mario. So this is our current Nintendo picture here for a moment while I continue looking for things. Hold on. What was I saying though? Ah, yeah. Down this list. Let me see. I don't know. Jeez. But no, like, it seems like no one has any, no one has anything new to say. I mean, there's a pretty good picture I found that I can't show on stream that I just added to my bookmarks, but yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about that. Okay, what else? Yep, still skimming. Okay, give me a sec. Let's just pull up this one instead. There we go. Okay, I updated it. Let me see here. Yeah. I do like the Daisy character, though. It's interesting how she was basically a nobody in the in the Game Boy games, Sarasa Land or whatever the hell it was called. Just the Super Mario Land game, the first one. And she had no real distinguishing qualities except that she was black and white like everyone else. And Mario Kart and Mario Party and stuff just kind of fleshed her out, despite not really existing other than as a generic character there. It's just kind of interesting to think about. But no, I'm looking at Yuzu, and it looks like everyone has basically said said the same things, So to recap, for anyone who missed it, the Yuzu emulator is now officially kill. That is to say, the company that made it got sued by Nintendo. And it turns out their sin wasn't making the Yuzu emulator. Their sin was literally pandering to pirates. As in, they built a before Tears of the Kingdom actually came out. It was leaked online. And so it was unusable in Yuzu. But then the developers released a fix for it on their Patreon, meaning you had to pay to get access to the fixed version of Yuzu, specifically the one that would the one that would play Tears of the Kingdom. So it's not that Yuzu existed, it's that Yuzu was selling piracy. And we know it was selling piracy because Tears of the Kingdom wasn't out yet. Meaning that they knew exactly who they were aiming for. They were aiming for people who illegally obtained the game. And they were taking money in. They were taking money in order to let those people pirate the game. That's why they got sued, and that's why they settled out of court. It's kind of bonkers if you think about it, but yeah, they deserved it. I'm pro emulation, by the way. I freaking love emulators, but no, Yuzu deserved what they got. Like the company, I mean, because like I say this all the time. Like I own all the games I emulate, all of them. So like they Nintendo had proof that they were working for pirates, basically. And that's fucking nuts. That's insane. I mean, that said, Yuzu is an open source game. An open source emulator. So anyone can make their own version of it. They can fork it, right? The official GitHub links are down. But if you search GitHub, you can find tons of forks, other people who've made their own versions of Yuzu, and you can download any of those. If you're a Linux user, the FlatHub, that is the Flatpak distributor, has both Yuzu and Cetra. Cetra got taken down because the lead developer was the lead developer on both of them. But yeah, I mean, you can still play and use both emulators. It's just that their company is kill. Like it no longer exists. All their money went to Nintendo, and so that's that. Like they were profiting off of piracy, and that's why they got taken down, because Nintendo was actually able to prove it. Unlike other emulators, where other emulators can be done legally. Yeah. Yes. What about Bazoo or something like that, you know? Okay. Let me see. What would happen if Yuzu merged the TikTok into their main repository for free? That's a very good question. I imagine that Nintendo would probably still try to go after them. Like I can't tell for sure. I'm not a psychic or any shit, right? So let's see here. No, bad. I need to right click and delete. There we go. Delete and delete. Okay. No politicos. So as I was saying, yeah. Basically, the crux of Nintendo's case, the thing that that made Nintendo really go after them, was the fact that they built a fix for the for Tears of the Kingdom. And that's the issue, is Tears of the Kingdom wasn't out yet. It's they literally built, like, facilitated the piracy of a game. And whether or not it was the paywalling of that fix, I can't tell you. Like, I'm not psychic. I can't tell you about alternate timelines. That's all speculation, right? But ultimately, what made them go after Yuzu was the paywalling of that fix. And again, it had nothing to do with the, what do you call it? It had nothing to do with them having an emulator, and everything to do with this game wasn't, like, you weren't able to legally buy this game, right? That's it. Yeah, you weren't able to buy this game legally at all because it hadn't come out yet. That was the crux of their like what they were going with. And Yuzu, rather than fighting a losing battle for, years in court, decided to just fold and move on with their lives. You said you wish some ordinary gamers shared my opinion on this. He just dropped a video calling Nintendo scumbags. Oh, Nintendo's litigious, and like the litigious side of Nintendo is the most scummy bullshit ever to exist. I despise it. But in this case, it looks like legitimately they were actually facilitating piracy and taking money for it. Meaning that Nintendo was in their rights to do that thing in this particular case. I still think Nintendo are scummy. I really do. But believing that doesn't invalidate the fact that Yuzu was up to scumbag shit too. I mean, like, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie and say Yuzu was that they were the underdog and they deserve to not be sued by Nintendo. It's like, no, you guys took money to facilitate piracy. Yeah, exactly. Two things can be right at the same time. Yeah. For some reason, everyone wants to earn money off their work. I know. That makes sense, right? And, like, I'm not playing Final Fantasy XIV. I'm just running it in the background. But let's be honest here. I've done live streams where I've done nothing but comment on my gameplay. And that's not much of work, is it? But I've taken money and advertising revenue for it, If Square Enix was like, hey, don't do that, I'd be like, okay, well, I'm not going to stream your video game anymore. I'm going to play other things. But, like, I like it when I can stream video games. But, like, I see what I do as, like, free advertising for the games. I'm telling people, hey, this game is fun. You should do it. There's your work and there's to profit of other people's work. Yes. Let's see. If they only ran their Patreon just to keep developing features or updates, it would have been fine. Oh, another thing. They had they paywalled their online service for their version of Switch Online. They paywalled that on their Patreon. So, yeah. They absolutely were profiting off of Nintendo's work. No. Like, I think Nintendo are scummy for many, many reasons. I think their creators are kind of divorced from that, right? Nintendo isn't this monolith that is unknowable. Nintendo are a bunch of like different components, different bubbles. And then you have above, you have like you have the shareholders up top, right? And then you have like the developers who make the games you like. And then you have the lawyers and shit who are like, hey, you did a bad, like, stop doing that bad. We're going to sue the fuck out of you, right? Those are different groups of people. They're all under the Nintendo name. But to say that Nintendo, like, I don't necessarily think the developers who make Nintendo games are scumbags. But those lawyers, oh boy, like, I'm not happy with what they've been doing over the years. So I'm saying, that said, in this very specific case, I think they were in the right to sue Yuzu. Because Yuzu was literally taking money to facilitate piracy of a game that hadn't been released yet. Yes. So, thankfully, Yuzu is open source, and so is Cetra. So they won't cease to exist. They'll just change names and be developed by other people. That's it. Hopefully, this bullshit of charging for updates and charging for what do you call it? Charging for online services, that'll go away. Hopefully. Anyway, let's see. Most stratified insulated company. Yes. The creatives in general, I've noticed at Nintendo, don't really know that they're they don't have their finger on the pulse of gaming, right? And as a result, the features they add tend to be out of date and or going in a different direction. And I think about 50% of the time that is a good thing, because it means that we get innovation that the rest of the industry doesn't think about. Like, who would have ever thought to shove Gary's mod into Legend of Zelda? Not me, that's for sure. I knew they were going to iterate on Breath of the Wild. I really did. But I had no idea that they were going to shove Gary's mod into it. And I watched some of my friends play it, and it looks like stupid fun, right? Looks great. I'm one of the crazy people who actually like Breath of the Wild. I don't think Breath of the Wild's a good Zelda game, but I think it's a good video game on its own. Like a really fun open world exploration game. And I think that shoving Gary's mod into it is also fun. But, one second. Okay. Sorry, I had to type things. My goodness. All right. You're not a Nintendo fan? You can pretend they don't exist. I like several Nintendo games, but hold on a second. Yeah, I like several Nintendo games, but I don't think I'm a fan of the company, you know, especially not their behavior toward different projects. I think that their treatment of fan games and fan projects has been terrible. Terrible. I think that their stance on emulation is hypocritical, considering they use ROMs. Like they have in the past used ROMs from a ROM site in their official collections. And I think that is, again, hypocritical. However, despite all of my misgivings about Nintendo and all of the things that they've done, I think they were right to sue in this particular case. Yep. It wasn't long ago that Nintendo was DMCAing every content creator that talked about them or played their game. Yes, that's true. In fact, they still DMCA anyone who shows you how to play their games on a, what do you call it? On a Steam Deck. You know, they really get uppity about that. They want to suppress that information. You know, but no, Nintendo had its phase with the creator program where they take a percentage of your channel's revenue and in exchange you get to play Nintendo games. Yeah, obviously that's not good either. But seriously, he said that doesn't sound legal. Nintendo does a lot of things that they can get away with. Remember that a YouTube copyright claim is not a legal notice. So you can't necessarily what do you call it? you can't necessarily hold them to the standards of perjury like you can a real DMCA, as opposed to the Nintendo version, which is the YouTube version, which is a what do you call it? Just a copyright takedown strike. They don't want you to use real DMCAs. They want you to use or like the YouTube program. Anyway, what was I saying? So yeah, Nintendo's been done a lot of shit that I disagree with, and I condemn the company broadly. I still like their games, of course, but like all the litigious actions they've been taking, I despise it. However, Yuzu had it coming with paywalling all their stuff, especially the facilitating of piracy. Now, that said, I'm going to have to go pretty soon, so unless there's anything else we need to talk about, I'm probably going to be taken off and gone for possibly today and tomorrow. I don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. I have a meeting tomorrow morning, and based on that, I may or may not be available to stream. So, I just hopped on quick to talk about the Nintendo thing. Let me see here. But, yeah, as far as the, whatchamacallit goes, yes. You learn a lot from the streams. That's awesome. Good to hear. Just remember that I'm not an authoritative source on basically anything. I listen to other people and I repeat the information. It's important to know that I'm not as educated as people think I am. I just try to take in the right information. Now let's see here. Is there a possibility Nintendo's lying again? No. Everyone knows. Everyone knows that they took in the Tears of the Kingdom stuff. Like everybody knows that that Yuzu did the bad things. And like just making an emulator is not illegal. Like if it was, they would have taken down everything. And I mean everything, right? But yeah. Okay. But you missed the avatar? Well, I mean, really what it comes down to is I really only use this whenever I'm not dressed to stream or I feel up to streaming for whatever reason. And so that's usually why. Spin. No, I don't think so. Anyway, I am taken off. I will see y'all later, and we'll be back to more conventional non-avatar streaming next time. Bye, everybody. I say as I forget how to end the stream.